I've spent years trying to figure out the smallest and lightest EDC tools like this bit driver from Olight, but what's the most comfortable and efficient bit driver you can get for the shop when you're not that tight on space? Something like the Wera ToolCheck Plus is super space efficient, but it takes a fair amount of time to take out the bit driver and find the right bit. The driver is also really short and small in your hand, so you usually need to upgrade to a better driver. A standard multi-bit screwdriver is a bit more efficient because you can leave a commonly used bit like a Phillips No. 2 in it so you can grab it and start working. But there's always a bit of wobble from the magnetic retention, and the bulkiness of the bit holder means you can't reach recessed screws, so you need to carry a separate precision driver for smaller size fasteners. The gold standard for a bit driver is, well, a standard screwdriver. Because it's easy to grab and go, there's no fiddling around with bits. It also has no wobble because there's no moving pieces. It has a nice long blade for good reach, and most importantly, the blade is only as thick as the tip, so smaller screwdrivers are thinner and can act more like a precision driver. That's why I keep this set of Wiha screwdrivers at the top of my tool chest for quick access. But screwdrivers have some big downsides. Since you need a separate screwdriver for each bit, if you want to work on a wide range of sizes of Phillips, slotted, Torx, hex, and square fasteners, you'll end up with dozens of screwdrivers to carry around. I wondered if I could find a setup that minimized the downsides of a bit driver, but still avoids the need for a huge set of individual screwdrivers. My favorite bit holder by far is the Wiha CentroFix because it has a locking mechanism that grips any kind of bit perfectly, so it's 100% wobble-free, just like a regular screwdriver. Problem is, this has a very short shaft, so if you use a standard insert bit from the ToolCheck Plus, it's really stubby. Adding an extender gives me a bit more reach, but it reintroduces the wobble, and the thicker collar on the extension means it won't fit into recessed holes like a regular screwdriver can. I found this longer Phillips No. 2 bit floating around and started leaving it in the CentroFix because it gave me a bit more reach and I could get right to work. Now the problem with this is it's still quite a bit shorter than a standard Phillips No. 2 screwdriver. So I started looking around to see if I could find a longer set of bits that I could use. Eventually I found these Wiha power blades that are perfect. They're 90 millimeters or 3.5 inches long and are sold in sets so you can pick and choose what you want. The Phillips bit set comes with a 0, 1, 2, and 3, and the slotted kit comes with 2.5, 3, 4.5, 5.5, and 6 millimeter. And the quality of these bits is excellent because Wiha makes some of the best bits out there, and best of all, when you put them into the CentroFix, now you have something that is pretty much identical to a standard screwdriver in terms of its size, weight, length, and blade thickness. Now this difference is even more pronounced when you put in a small bit. Swapping in the Phillips No. 1 blade, we end up with something that's actually a little bit better than the standard screwdriver. This has a little more reach and the blade is quite a bit thinner, and that's really the magic of using these power blades. In fact, if we swap in the Phillips 0 blade, now we're in precision driver territory. So this can reach into the same spots that this Wera precision driver can reach into. So the really cool thing here is that you end up with one driver handle and set of blades that will cover both precision bit and standard bit territory. As far as organization goes, if you try using one of these standard bit holder blocks, it doesn't really work out that well. But a much better option is this PB Swiss BitBlock. Now maybe this doesn't look like much, but it's much higher quality, rigid holder, and it's a lot easier to get the bits in and out. They're perfectly engineered to hold these blades with just the right amount of tension. Each bit block holds 10 bits, so this set of 4 Phillips and 5 slotted fit here fine with an extra slot. All in, the CentroFix driver with the 9 Phillips and slotted bits and the PB Swiss bit holder cost around $60, which isn't cheap, but it is the ultimate bit driving experience if you don't want to carry around a bag of individual screwdrivers. I like the setup so much that I recently picked up the other 3 sets to have a complete kit. There's a 9-piece security Torx set for $20, a 10-piece security hex for $20, and a set of 3 square for $13. I don't really need the security versions of these with the hole in them, but they don't offer standard ones, and these work just as well. To organize these, I bought a few more of the PB Swiss bit blocks. The security hex set fills this 1 bit block here, and the security Torx set only has 9, so I could put a 1/4 inch adapter in the last slot. To fit the square bits, I actually simplified this a bit to keep just a couple sizes, so these are very similar, as well as the small ones are really similar. So we'll just shift these over, and now we have space for the 3 square heads. One nice feature of these bit blocks is there are these interlocking little tabs here, so you can line them up and slide them together and they'll lock. Now these don't really lock together that well, so if you really want to keep them that way, you might need to crazy glue them. All 29 bits plus the 1/4 inch adapter are now super neatly organized into this bit block. Let me show you what this looks like next to the Toolcheck Plus for a comparison, and it's a little bit thicker. It's not nearly as wide. So now when I need to do something, I can just grab a blade out of here, throw it into the CentroFix, and I'm ready to go. I like to have the option of using a ratchet, and this new Wera 838 RARM is really my favorite ratchet of all time because it's so fun to use. This locking wrap adapter does a good job of holding these blades in place. Now there is a little bit of wiggle here, and that's true of all Wera ratchets, unfortunately. But when you're using it, it really isn't super noticeable because it's a ratchet. Now, the thing I really like about the 838 RARM is this ring here. So you can sit here and just turn it like this for really fine work or for starting the screw. But this also sets the direction. So if I want to loosen, I can just go that way. And now I'm loosening. If I want to tighten, I just do that, and now I'm tightening. There is a lockout in the center, so this becomes more like a standard driver, but you can see there's a decent amount of slop there. So what I end up doing is leaving the Phillips #2 in the Wera 838, and then I keep a large flathead screwdriver in the CentroFix. So what I do is I keep these 2 drivers in my bag, so now if I need to do something, I can just grab the driver and go, and if I need to switch the blades, I can do that really quickly. Now, one really cool thing I figured out is that this set of blades will fit into this little cubby in the top of the Vito TP-LC tool bag that I have. So by dropping it in the top, I can really quickly grab a blade and swap things out without needing to fiddle around too much. Now, I know not everyone has $60 to spend on their screwdriver. If you're looking for a budget option, I found this Vessel ball grip driver, and it comes with 3 double-sided bits. There's a Phillips 1 and 3, a Posidrive 2 and 3, and a 6mm slotted with a Phillips #2 on the other side. Of these 3 bits, the one with the Phillips #2 and slotted is definitely my go-to, so I just leave this stored in the handle. This doesn't have any sort of bit storage, so you're going to need to figure out what to do with these other 2 blades. Now, this thing just feels incredible in your hand. I love the weight distribution, the way this fits in the palm of your hand, and all the rubber grips that you get here really give you a lot of control. So I think this is an excellent option. And best of all, this only costs $13. These blades are actually a little bit longer at 110mm or 4.3 inches, but they do sit pretty deeply into the driver handle. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can use all of the Wiha 90mm blades in here. And the nice thing is these sit in there pretty firmly. There's a teeny bit of wiggle, but it's very, very solid in here. You can combine the Vessel handle with an inexpensive set of long bits like this Yakamoz set that I got for $13. It comes with 16 blades of 100mm or 4-inch bits that cover popular Phillips, slotted, Torx, and hex sizes. They aren't amazing quality and needed to be washed to remove a ton of oil, but they're pretty solid. I did a ton of research trying to find inexpensive 4-inch bit sets, and on Amazon you'll find a bunch of them under a bunch of different brand names. And the funny thing is, I think they're all coming from the exact same factory, because on every single product listing, if you look at the Phillips #1, 2, and 3 sizes, they're all labeled Phillips #2. What are the chances of that happening across multiple factories? I chose the 10 bits that I use most and added them to a PB Swiss holder, but I could have sprung for 2 to hold them all. These 4-inch bits with the Vessel driver handle is an awesome combination, and it only costs $26 or $31 with the BitBlock organizer. These together are an awesome combination and are just so much more usable than a multi-bit screwdriver like this Klein. So there you have it. For the best driving experience, go with the Wiha CentroFix and the Wiha Power Blades. And for a budget option, go with any old set of 4-inch blades off of Amazon with the Vessel driver. Although I still love my Toolcheck Plus and multi-bit drivers, you really cannot beat a dedicated driver handle and a set of long blades. Let me know if you found other high-quality blades or bit holders that you'd recommend down in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time.